as we get into the off seasons. But with that, we'll open the floor to questions. George?
David, do you just simply handle the Lombardi thing at this point as you can't really factor him into next year? Is that basically how it's got to be?
This is a tough one. I mean, in my depth charts, I've got him in there as coming back. I mean, getting a year off, and surely he's going to get better. But this has been a long process, so it's a tough call as to exactly what to do. We're going to sit down with he and all of our doctors and see whether there's any other things to do, any other places to go, any other types of treatment to have. But as we all know, or we all don't know, because concussions are getting to be a huge topic throughout all sports, that this is the most unknown injury, and exactly when players are going to get better and how to treat it. It's the worst injury you can have. So this is a tough one for us. I mean, we've got a spot for him, and we want him. And like I say, I got him in my depth chart, but I don't know how to completely answer that right now. Mark?
David, do you get the sense with Shea and his agent that they want to wrap this up before July 1, or do you think they want to see if they're going to get an offer sheet?
But they definitely want to wrap it up before July 1. And we would also, if all things are equal, again, just a little bit of a technicality or rules here. If we don't do anything and we get to July 1st, they could receive an offer sheet. If we tender him a contract, if we select to go to file for arbitration, then he's a signed player. So obviously my goal is to have this done by July 1st.
Any sort of injuries or surgeries on tap for anyone right now, and what would they be exactly?
That's probably something after they have their medicals, but I expect there's going to be numerous ones.
Jim?
David, does the organization have to have any meetings or anything to set a budget for next year? And if so, do you have like a timetable on when that would take place?
It's always ongoing. I mean, we do this all the time. I think we're always working, on that, with that, and work closely with Jeff on that in terms of everybody's budget, what our revenues are. So, I mean, we have that under control. In other words, I think the question is directed at will we be able to sign Shea Weber. The answer is yes.
Not just Weber, all the free agents. I mean, you have quite a few free agents.
The ones that we want to sign and what we want to do. I mean, the goal here under the new ownership is to keep this team together to move forward. Our goal is to put a winning franchise on and off the ice. Our goal is to win the Stanley Cup.
Coach, what does JP Dumont need to do to get back into a regular spot in the lineup?
Well, I think JP's gift is he can find the net. Probably on his game, not his strength is skating, and then probably defensive games. So the game's changed a lot on JP in the last probably 8-10 years, and so he's worked really diligent. He's a fantastic guy off the ice in terms of what he does in the community. He's fantastic in the room. I've got to get him in a role where two things: A, get trust in his game, his total game, and then he's got to get some production and put him with some people that can use his ability. And the playoffs were a little different animal than they are in the regular season. I think there's a little more ability to use JP in the regular season. This year, playoffs was totally different. So when he was in, he did a good job, but role was reduced a little bit.
Corey?
David, this is for you. If Matt can't play or decides to hang it up, is there any way for the organization to get any financial relief?
No, unfortunately, the concussion was a pre-existing situation that does not have any relief insurance-wise or what have you. So his $3.5 million is on our payroll next year, whether he plays or not.
So there's no buyout or anything in that regard?
No.
Sergei Kostitsyn led the team in goal scoring, led the league in shooting percentage. Is that a performance which you feel comfortable projecting forward, or did circumstances benefit him?
Well, Barry, go ahead.
I'll comment on Sergei. Sergei made some great strides. The shooting percentage stat is a little bit overrated. I'd like him to shoot a hell of a lot more. So, you know, if you only shoot 10 times, you score three times on 10 shots, that's 30%. But I'd like them to shoot 30 times, have a chance to score 5, you know, that type of thing. But he made some great strides.
I mean, Sergei's a young player, and we took a chance on him in a situation that didn't work out in Montreal, and it worked out good for us. He got better and better as the season went on, and when we got to the playoffs, he was not bad in Anaheim, but not as effective as we needed him to be in Vancouver. So this, again, is the type of thing that we talk about all the time. Young player, what's his potential? Can he adjust his game? Can he take it up another notch? And these are the type of things that we'll be talking with Sergei in our exit meetings and what have you. But you're dealing with a pretty talented young player, so you've got to be careful of how we treat or not treat that. Derek?
Barry, can you talk about how difficult it is to win at home? You guys in this series only one home game, one and two. You guys were 2-4. With you talked about the crazy atmosphere. Why is it difficult to win at home in hockey?
Well, yeah, it's really strange this year, more so than ever, and it's on both sides of the conferences, the East and the West. You know, we were talking about it the other day. It might be just that little bit of focus, you know, or distraction, or lack of distraction. I think in the playoffs, you have to play a hard, no space, patient game. And then when you're the home team, sometimes you don't want to be patient. You want to get the crowd going. You want to, you know, get a fast start. You want to do that. And on the road, we always talk about, let's give the crowd no momentum. Let's give that team no momentum. So you play a really detailed, focused game as a group, and you're together. You don't have any distractions, and that's the only explanation I can give you, because it's going to be the question that a lot of coaches this year in the playoffs are going to ask. You know, why couldn't we win our games? I mean, in Vancouver, we honestly, as I said, I didn't think we showed up very well in Game 1 of the Vancouver series, but we won every game when we went back. They won every game here, so it is, and the margin of error is just like that. And I wish I had a better explanation that I could actually just say, hey, we fixed that, we'll be fine. But it's sort of rampant right through the playoffs this year.
Coach Trotz, besides getting a lot of your key players back, what pieces do you need, would you like to add this offseason?
Well, you know, it's a little bit of a tough question. We sort of talked a little bit about this yesterday. We might have the pieces, but they weren't all able to play. I mean, we had the Gotches and we had the Lombardis and we had different pieces that just, you know, you go back to the what if. What if we had all those guys? Do we get by Vancouver? I want to say I think we have a better chance, but the guys that were in were the guys that were in. But I think obviously if we can A, develop or acquire a little more of a top 6 forward, and then I think we're developing a lot of those top 4 defensemen. So if everything comes together in the right way, that would be something that we'd like to increase. But we might even have it within our own organization, but we just didn't have a chance to see it.
Barry, there's still a lot of Tennesseans, a lot of Nashvillians that are not hockey fans, but maybe when they keep hearing words like resilient and work ethic and a team that never gives up, words that I think Tennesseans are inclined to embrace, do you think that would help grow the sport? As far
Well,
as
I think just playing the way we have this year helps grow the sport, because, you know, I'll just give you a typical story. I'm in Vancouver, and I like to go for walks, and I was going to meet the coaching staff for supper, and I'm walking. I'm running into a lot of Vancouver Canucks fans because I'm in Vancouver, and almost to a T, people are coming up to me and going, you know, we hate every team that the Canucks play, but we have a hard time hating you guys. We can't hate you. We just see the respect that how we work and how we were resilient and how we were sort of relentless in what we were trying to do. That actual people that are painted up in Vancouver Canucks jerseys are coming up to me and going, we can't even hate you guys, because they respect that. And I think you're right. People respect, you know, people that come to work and pay a price and do it, you know, so a little bit of the old-fashioned way in a lot of ways, that they're not looking for any shortcuts. And I think people respect that about us as a team, and I like our team. And I think a lot of the fans do, and I think that's why you saw a bond between the fans and the team this year, because we've got some great people. I mean, we can take the hockey and the sport and all that aside. Just in our own organization, we have some great people, and people that, you know, Tennessee people, people anywhere around the world can relate to. We sort of just give you an honest day's effort every day, and I think that's goes a long way in today's society.
Take two more before we break down for one-on-ones.
David, with the TV contract, with the success of the team, the sellouts, you know, and all that stuff, I know in previous years you kind of had to stand pat, so to speak. Will the team be more active in free agency this year, and will you be able to bring in some more players that you maybe haven't in the past?
Well, I think Barry partially answered that. I mean, we've had so many guys injured, even in the playoffs, we had 5 or 6 guys out. I mean, we might have a lot of these pieces. There's also some, you know, we talked specifically about the offense. I mean, there's some guys that, you know, with all due respect, I think could have performed better in the playoffs offensively. And I think they're all young players that I think given the opportunity, maybe given that second chance, second time around, you know, could fit the bill. Also, you have to look at what's available this year. There's not a lot of high-end free agents this year. Most teams have signed these forwards that you might be talking about, so there's not too many guys there. So again, we got to take a little bit of a break, if you will, from each other, let this all sink in and get back together in a couple of weeks, and then go over it and see what's there. I mean, maybe it's trades versus you know, free agency. Maybe there's a trade that may make more sense. Maybe we have more depth at defense. Maybe somebody wants a defenseman for a forward type of thing. So bottom line, we'll look at everything we can to give us the best chance to win.
Last question, George.
Barry, toward the end of the season, you all played Shea Weber and Ryan Suter an incredible number of minutes. Next year, same, or are you sort of, we're not quite going down that road again?
No, I think probably it might be almost game by game, but they you know, the elite defensemen, we're going to play around 25 minutes a night. In the playoffs, the elite defensemen get an extra 4 or 5 minutes some nights, and if you go into the overtime or double overtime, as we did in the one game, they played 40 minutes. I mean, that's you know, they're top guys. So I think probably with the depth that we have, that, you know, we like to keep them under, you know, under 25 usually, but they're capable in game-to-game situations to really ramp that up, and they're fantastic defensemen. Shea is in a lot of ways him, Pex, and Suits are the face of our franchise right now, and they're getting tons of recognition around the league. And I said to the Canadian press, I think both those young defensemen are capable of hoisting up a Norris Trophy, and I think Pex is capable of a Vezina Trophy, and that's a good place to start.
Again, with that, we'll break down and make all 3 gentlemen available for one-on-ones, and thank you very much for